Where would you say you were before you even signed up to the program?
If I could do that from a scale of one being the lowest, 10 being the highest, I would say like one, honestly. When I first started and I started losing followers, I was going to quit your program. I said, what kind of program you got where you have me doing this and I'm losing followers? I'm like, oh, heck no. But you got to remember too, because the people you work with have a platform, right? So I don't have a
Yeah.
platform. I had a very successful business, but in every business, you got to get to a next level. What you taught is invaluable because I've made triple since then, quadruple. Like, so you've been doing whatever you've been doing for X amount of time and nothing is changing. So when you're making an investment to someone else, you're really making the investment in yourself. You don't believe in yourself enough to make the investment for yourself. That's what it is. You don't believe in yourself enough, or you don't think you're worth it, because when you are paying for a class or getting a coach or, attending a seminar, you're proving to yourself that you're worth it. My name is Maxine. They call me Max B, and I create love stories. I make people's visions come true. I am a wedding and event planner, and I'm also a venue owner. On two venues located in Atlanta, Georgia, just east of Atlanta. But I was born and raised in Toronto. But I've been here. I guess I'm from Georgia. I've been here for like, oh my gosh, like 2 decades. So I've been here a minute.
Okay. What exactly does your business do? Talk to
Um,
me. Tell me.
Okay, so as I said, we make dreams come true. So if you're planning a wedding,
Mm.
that's us. If you're planning a corporate event, if you're doing anything, not only in my commercial building, but I also come to people's homes as well. So planning events. Last summer actually, I planned. We now plan concerts. So we did a big concert with old school band. You may not know these, Ajane. Force MDs and Surface. They're really like an old school band back in the
Uh-huh.
80s. So we did my first concert production there. So anything production, planning. I've also branched out recently in mentoring other folks as well. So people in the area, not even the area, but if you're wanting to open a venue, aspire to be a planner, I also offer those skills as well, which is so cool because I love seeing the before and after and the transformation. So anything creative in the creative space, that's us.
Yeah.
My team and I are experts in what we do.
You guys are amazing. And you know what? It's crazy how much you've actually grown from like when I first met you and we first started working together. So like let's start from the very beginning. Where would you say you were when, before you even signed up to the program or just before you actually signed up? How was, content going? How was business going? How was you just mentally? Everything.
If I could do that from a scale of one being the lowest, 10 being the highest, I would say like one, honestly. Because I don't even know how I found you. I think I just found you. I think it was just instinct. It's just like the universe just attracted you to me. Because I was
Yeah.
at a point where realizing that social media is needed for your business. And I was the person who this right here, I would never do. Talking on camera, even
Um,
planning content, posting. I told you I grew up
mhm.
in like a Caribbean Jamaican household. So it's mainly like you don't tell people your wins or your losses. We have the thing like, keep it to yourself. So
Yeah,
me
yeah,
going
yeah.
on camera and just talking and saying, hey, my name is this and this is what I do, that's a no-no. So I was actually struggling, especially with the event planning side of really just getting who I am out there and my work. And then when I found you, you said to me, like, you got to be consistent, you got to post. And I'm just like, post? What do you mean? And you said, like, you got to like put the phone and put the camera. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're not doing that. So it's so it was so interesting because you definitely were the beacon of me being consistent, planning the content. We make time for what we want and what we do. So you showing me that, okay, Maxine, you gotta, if you want your business to grow, you gotta tap into the social media world. You gotta be organized, you gotta be prepared. Even things about posting and then sitting down and just doing things that I never thought I would do. And I tell people all the time, once I started doing that, it wasn't saying, we all want 100 or million followers, but I just wanted to make sure I was getting income, money. And because I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
posting consistently, talking more and speaking about what I know about because of what you taught me, it just like it catapulted my confidence because I wasn't confident. And I didn't know I wasn't confident until you told me to talk in front of a camera. So now you see me talking now, I feel so comfortable, but it was a big
yeah,
part of it was because you just said to me, like, who cares? Like, this is you and the other person on the other side, you don't know them. So you really helped me with being confident and me being more eloquent and me just being prepared and organized with my
yeah.
with my business. Yes. So
I
now,
mean,
I started off as a one, so I'm like a 7, 8,
that's a
you
lot of
know.
progress. I'll be
Oh my
honest. That's a
gosh,
lot of progress.
it's so much of progress that this year, January, I started doing one-on-one lives, and you were my first guest.
Oh
But just
yes.
and just
Thank you.
doing that like a year ago, I would never think that I would just be able to be confident on camera and talk about what I know because we're talented. I mean, I'm not boasting or anything, but I know what I'm doing. I've been
Yeah.
doing it for over 10 years. So I just, what they say when the teacher appears, you're ready to learn that thing, and you definitely taught me that, and I'm grateful, Ajane. I am.
Listen, you put in a lot of work and you deserve it. Seriously. I, you
It's
know
okay.
what? Even when you asked me to go live in January, I was like, oh,
Right?
she's really progressing like
Yeah.
lives. I didn't even dare suggest lives to you at the time because like I just knew your brain just wouldn't fathom it. You would it just,
No,
it just wouldn't happen.
no.
But let's talk about what actually happened as you went through the program. Not obviously, we can talk about why I helped you with and stuff like that,
Right.
consistency, strategy, but more of, I guess, the results that you saw. Like, I remember when you came to me, and I kind of want you to say it, but you were like, you can't believe who actually contacted you to do, was it their daughter's wedding or was it their wedding or is it meant to be
Yes.
both?
Yes. So,
Yeah.
the process was, it wasn't challenging, but it was like you forced me to be consistent. So I had to get on my live and get on the one-on-ones, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so cringe because I'm so uncomfortable of just like going online. So you said to me, Maxine, you got to start planning your content, being organized. And I really feel like when you start doing things, things start attracting to you. It just makes sense. Like the universe starts, being in your favor. So
Hmm.
one of I've always had like clients. I've done events for a lot of celebrities before, but I was attracted. And I didn't even know who he was at first. I was referred to someone, and it was like he's like an all-star, like Dominique Wilkins, and I'm like, who is that kind of deal?
Even
But
I didn't know.
right, but after researching, it was like we were invited to do his 1 year anniversary in his home. So that was like a big production with like tents and stuff. And then I was invited to do his daughter's wedding. Then actually, Arjun, 2 weeks ago, I just did one of his daughter's baby shower. And this Saturday, I'm doing
Oh,
another baby shower at my venue, his daughter's baby shower at my venue, which is Sunday, the 26th. So with that being said, and then just being in rooms with different folks, in
yeah.
our state, we have like mayors, and I just being visible
Oh,
and
yeah, I
being
remember
invited
that.
into different arenas. And I feel like when you have a coach that says, okay, you can do this, you kind of have to have people who believe in you before you believe in yourself. And this is what
Yeah.
you do. So you said to me, hey, Maxine, you can do this, you can do that. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I can't. You know what I mean? And then you would hold me
Yeah,
accountable. So once I start going through the program and once you start holding me accountable, and once I start realizing that I can do it, then when you start getting those wins, so when you start like making money, when you start making
yeah.
money, you kind of believe like, okay, you know what? I'm onto something. And that has transpired like many, many times. Then I start getting my own coaching clients. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
that was crazy because I don't even think you was really advertising your like mentorship or
no,
coaching
I
clients at
wasn't.
all.
No. Remember the first coaching client was a lady that slid into my DM because of you, me being
Yeah,
consistent. And she was
yeah,
like, do you
yeah,
do
yeah.
one-on-ones? And I was like, and I think I asked you, I was like, oh, should we do a one-on-one? And you were like, what do you
Yeah,
do?
it's funny. You didn't want to do a one on one.
Because I was like, how am I supposed to do a one-on-one? I'm still learning. But the fact that you helped me present myself as a professional and an expert that I already was, I just needed to channel it correctly. And I met with
Yeah,
that young lady and I charged her and she paid me. And I was like,
yeah. I remember you couldn't believe that she paid you. You were like,
I
"Wait,
couldn't
someone
believe
just
it.
paid me to do something that I just do on a everyday basis. They just want to see what I do and for me to tell them what I do." Yeah, I
Yes.
remember. I
And I
remember.
charged her for an hour. I charged her like, I think it was like $700 or $800 to sit with me for an hour. And I
Yeah,
was like, she's not gonna pay it. And she paid it, and I was like, oh hell no. And you know, and the thing is with the reason I don't like to do one-on-one because when you like you tell me to do something, it's up to me to do the work. Like you can't do the work for me.
yeah,
So even when I got with you, if I'm paying you for a service and I don't do the work, I can't walk away and say, oh, it didn't work, it didn't work. You have to do the work. Like you giving
yeah.
me the blueprint, I gotta follow it. And if you don't
Yeah,
follow it, then how do you expect it to work?
yeah.
So, and you were right. And I charged her and she paid. And we worked for a little while for, you know, with each other. And now she has a little bit of wins here and there, but I was shocked. But the biggest win is, you know, continue doing my work. And I'm going to be honest, Audrey, sometimes I fell off.
You know what? I would see you pop up on my page, so I know when you wouldn't be posting. You know, I know when you would, and your story is always like one of the first few stories that I see as well. It's always one of the first few, so I know when you're not posting. By the way, just
Right. And you
saying.
said to post every day, at least once a day. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
hell no. But it worked. So, you know, just posting and then I got referred to another client and he's the process of opening his own venue. I can't even tell you how much I charged him and he paid. It's
You
kind of
told me on text, but I won't say the number because I respect you. But yeah.
it was like three mortgage payments in Atlanta. So look up the average mortgage payment.
I know everyone's going to Google right now. What's
Yeah,
the
yeah, look
average
up the average
mortgage payment
mortgage
in Atlanta?
payment
Yeah.
for, you know, I live in a good sizable home. I live in the country club. So look at the average payment for a country club home and then you kind of figure how much. And and you know, it's funny because my husband's like, "Why are you so surprised? Like this is what, you know, you know what you're doing. Like you know,
It's
you've
true.
been doing it for a while. You put in the hours, but I don't think I would have gotten to that point if I didn't go through your program because it's really about building confidence. So now I'm just like, you know, I had to think about, oh, Ajane, I can't go online because my hair's not done. Oh, Ajane, I can't do
I
this
remember
because and you just be
that.
like, it does. That's not what it is. People buy people, you know. So I had some posts where
Yeah.
I'm just like in my car with a hat coming from the gym, and I would
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
never do that without being on your program. But the funny thing is, those posts do well. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, huh? So
And
I've definitely learned.
it's funny because I remember one of the things that I definitely wanted to do with you, and I kept like telling you this as well. You were like, I'm not going viral yet. Like, I don't have a million views on like a video. And I was just like, you technically don't need a million views. Like, if we are getting more views than what you average, we're doing a good job. Plus, even though people might not be liking or commenting or whatever, not everyone's going to like and comment, but they are going to watch the video. And
So
you probably
true.
will never know that they're watching the video. And then later, obviously, we found out they were watching the videos because people kept
Yes.
coming to you saying, "Hey, I saw this, I saw that," and you're thinking, "Wait, I didn't see you comment though, or whatever."
Right. Or even do
But
a like.
yeah, but the whole point was kind of establishing your authority, is what I like to call it. Like you said, you spent 10 years in the
Yeah,
events planning, wedding planning industry. I was
for
like,
sure.
bro,
Yeah.
10
Probably
years, and
more,
you
but
own your venue. You
I
like
do.
you have all of these things that a lot of people, granted, may not or don't have. And I was just like, you have to stand on it. And like you're kind of doing everyone else a disservice by not putting yourself out there, because like people just go to the people will learn from people that they just know of. You may be the best, but because you don't post and you don't show
Exactly.
that you know what you know and how much of an expert you are, they will never go to you because
Exactly.
they will just never know you existed. or their friend will never know you existed to even refer you or send your post to them or whatever it may be. So that's one thing that I definitely wanted to make sure that we did, and it worked.
It totally worked, man. And you're so calm. Your demeanor, I would say no all the time. Do you remember? I was like, no, I'm not. What? I can't do that. And then even me cross channels. So, my thing is always like, well, I want to get, and this is for people who think just because you may not have 5,000 followers or 2,000 followers, you taught me it doesn't matter because I'm getting compensated and I'm earning more than I have followers. So it just says that, you can't, because you can buy followers. I've had people say, well, you should buy followers and da da da. And I'm just like, well, if I'm buying followers, it's time to market. Who am I marketing to? So I just
Literally.
really worked really hard. Like my Facebook, because you always say post on TikTok, cross YouTube, and my Facebook grew like now I'm monetizing on Facebook and making an extra $300-400 a week. And I'm just like, how did I do that? Because I would post and use the same material like you taught me and just like
Mhm.
post like regularly, like post and plan. So some months I can say like now it's April. Some months I'm like on it. Some weeks when I get busy, because I do have a real business.
Yeah.
I get busy
You
sometimes
actually
and I
run
get
it?
distracted and like, oh my gosh, I didn't post. But even the tools that you gave and even the blueprints and sheets and calendars and yeah, that I always pull it out. I always pull it out and I always go back to especially okay and recycling things too. You taught me that like okay, you don't
Mhm.
always have to think of something new if you've already done it. And it's true, like I may have like 100 likes on a post, but then someone will call me like, oh, I saw you on TikTok. And then they're spending like they booked me for a wedding. And I'm just like, okay, that's why the followers, of course, you want the followers for the endorsements because I do want to be like you, getting brand deals. And,
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
next step. But really being consistent, even across TikTok and everything, like people that, and that's why people in my DMs like, oh, you're so busy. And, I don't have a lot of followers because I'm consistent and I'm posting things that really help people. And I'm being, like you always say, be your authentic self because people will find you. And they're finding me. And I'm grateful.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I remember too is I can't remember how you got the opportunity, but I feel like stuff was just happening for you when you were like, "Oh, I'm planning my first concert."
Right.
Or
Uh huh.
yeah,
The city I'm on a board and it's just crazy. It's just crazy when you think about it. I'm into like, meditating and thinking and stuff like that, but it's so
yeah,
crazy when you start doing things and positioning yourself as who you want to be, the opportunities just start coming. Like even the concert opportunity that came and that was a big deal, and
yeah.
then that attracted. And then, sometimes I turn away clients because now I'm in a position now to say, well, there's a certain type of budget I want to work with, a certain
Mhm.
type of client I want to work with, so and sometimes I have to remind myself it's not about working harder, it's work you should say it's not about working harder, working smarter.
Yeah.
It's really about working smarter. So, and I even told you once, I'm mad that I have to use social media. I said, I wish social media would just go away. But you said to me, like, yeah, it's not going away. And if you, yeah, because it's
It's
just
not.
like, it's not, it's not. And you said that you have to use it wisely. And I see like big companies, like big corporations are using social media. So it's just like, it's like a gold mine in your hand. And you obviously tell me all the time, it's not about going viral because all of the people who follow you go viral is not your customers. They're not going
Yeah.
to pay you. They just came on the whim. And then when whatever is not popping anymore, they're going to leave. So you want the folks that when you post consistently every day, doesn't matter what you're wearing or how you look, you just posting and talking about what you want, those people are going to come. And I have to say, like, from when we met almost a year and a half ago to now, yeah, even as I said, my confidence is bigger, and even the people that I'm attracting in the business. I mean, you can scroll my page, like my face is on my page. Scroll before I met you. I think people didn't even know who owned the company.
I feel like when you first put your face, I know a lot of people thought, "Wait, who's this again?"
Who's it? Right?
Like, when did I follow this person? What's
That
going
you
on?
said that. I remember I felt losing all the followers, and I was like,
Oh
"This is not
yeah.
working. It's not
Oh yeah, you
working."
were like, hey, you're like, Ashley, I'm losing followers. Like, what's going on? And I was just like, hey, let's actually go through what's going on. Maybe people realize that this is not their content anymore. And that's technically a good thing. Because that means if they're unfollowing you, they were never going to buy from you in the first place,
You
whether
say
that's,
that all the time.
like mentorship or even booking for your booking to use your venue, whatever it may be, or to use your services. Like they were never gonna do it. So it's good that they're gone. That leaves more room for more people that actually want
It
to know
was
you,
scary.
your services,
Yeah,
etc.
it was scary. But you did say that because people in you can scroll down before I met you, like the company named after me, Maxine, Maxby Group, and people were like,
Yeah,
"Who is that?" So scroll down before I met you, I would never. You had me sitting in the car talking. You had me sitting in the grocery store talking. You had me putting up lights
yeah,
talking. I mean, my
yeah,
equipment
yeah,
is because of you. You're like, okay, you need a light, you need a stand, you need this. So
yeah.
you had me doing all that stuff, and people were interacting. I had a lot of viral moments. I'm having ebooks now. I'm selling
Yeah.
ebooks and stuff. It's just like, yeah, you're good. You to go.
You
Yeah, you to
actually
go.
did
You go. You the
start.
man. You the
You
man.
actually, thank you, thank you. You actually did start growing followers, like
Oh yeah, yeah. I
eventually.
grew a lot, like
Yeah,
thousands. No, for
I was
sure. I'm not.
because I was
Yeah,
gonna
for
like
sure.
just so they know, like you didn't just come and just lose a bunch of followers.
Yeah, I remember. But I'm gonna tell you, when I first started and I started losing followers, I was gonna quit your program. I said, "What kind of program you got where you have me doing this and I'm losing followers?" I'm like, "Oh heck no!"
Oh,
And I was like, "I don't know." And I would come on each week, and you would say no, and you're
yeah.
right because. And then I started gaining followers, and the people who were following me were actually asking me questions. And you're right, a lot of people are
Mhm.
shy. They probably don't want to post their comment like underneath your post, but they'll send me a message. And I got
Yeah.
more messaging, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And then you were just like, I was like, I want to start selling products. And then I started my stand store. And then I was
Yeah.
selling a
Yeah.
couple ebooks. And, with business, sometimes I sell a lot, sometimes I don't. Then I said, well, offer a free product, like all that insight, like offer a free product, lead it in, da da da, like,
Mhm.
create your funnel, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, wow, I got to do all this for real? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
editing. Oh my gosh. My first
Oh
video
yeah,
was a
that.
hot mess. I would send them to you and you're just like, yeah, this is not it. You hurt my
How did
feelings
I?
a lot too,
Oh.
You hurt my feelings a lot. I was like,
I'm
okay.
sorry, but I had to just be honest, didn't it? I had to be honest. I remember you sent me a video, and I was just like, you left all the massive pauses in there for starters,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
I didn't
I was,
know. I
I was
didn't
looking,
know.
I was looking to the sky, saying, how do I say this? How do I break it to her that like she has to like edit this again or a bit more and edit the pauses and stuff.
Now I'm a you see my videos, now I'm a G with editing. I'm just like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and people ask me what programs they use, and I'm like, well, you can buy my ebook and it'll show you all the things I learned from Ajane, and you could go ahead and get that too.
Bro. Where would you say you'd be if you never actually went through the program at all? You just carried on doing what you were doing.
Stuck. And this is the thing too, because you really have to be careful because online, everyone's selling something. You know what I mean? And some people, and I've seen it myself, some people purchase their followers to try to sell you something, but then they don't have any testimonies, and
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Sorry?
No, I was just saying I was agreeing. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I mean, when I found you, and then I don't remember how I found you. I think I was listening to like Nero because I was listening to him a lot. And then I don't know, but I found you, and then I really was at a spot where I was just like stuck with the content, and I was feeling uncomfortable to post. And when I did post, and then I would look, and then I would overjudge myself.
Mhm.
So if I didn't go through the program with you, I probably no, I would be still stuck because I was so leery of utilizing other folks. Because I'm sure you see it now, like all these people who are calling off for being fraud, and they're dragging them
Mhm.
like this is a fraud coach and da 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 and whatever. And
Mhm.
it's just like I took a chance, And then I was just like, okay, let me take a chance because I scrolled your content for a long time even before reaching out. And then one thing about you, you walk the walk because you post a lot.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So you post, your
Yeah,
editing was
yeah,
fire. I mean, and then even before I decided to move forward, you would answer all my questions. You weren't like, well, you know, you gotta sign up before. No, you were an open book
yeah,
even before. And I'm a vibe person. You know, my background is islands, you know, Jamaica. So we feel out.
yeah,
We're like,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
he got
yeah,
good energy. But I probably would still be stuck because I didn't want to just jump on a bandwagon of somebody. Then you weren't even like in America. So that's what I was like, okay, Maxine, you really gonna
yeah,
trust this guy? You don't even know anything. But I listened to your content and you talk what you talk. So then I was like, okay, cool. But I probably would just still trying to figure it out on my own. But you gave me the blueprint on what to do. And then when I do it, it works. When I don't do it, it doesn't work. And then you gave me like different options. Like you can do this 1 week, this 1 week. Yeah. So I would
hmm,
definitely
hmm.
be stuck. And I would definitely not have the confidence. Like even this, I tell you, you know when I met you first, I would just like not talk. I'm like, yeah. Now I'm so comfortable online. I'm like, what's up, y'all? Like, but you
Yeah,
gave me the confidence because I know my stuff. And you just gotta do it. You gotta take a chance. Honestly, you can't. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over. So you can't complain about something and don't try to do something and it change and then complain you're not getting the results. You got to
yeah,
try and get results. You know, and I stuck to the whole program, and I was just like, even when I didn't want to do things, you'd reach out. I think sometimes I canceled because like this is not working, but
yeah,
you
yeah,
were you were patient and you were patient and you showed me things like, okay, if you don't do the work, and that's the main thing, people need to do the work and take the chance.
I remember one thing I liked about you specifically was every time that you showed up to the call, you would always have a bunch of questions for me. And you
Yeah.
wasn't afraid. You were just like, I'm losing followers. What's going on? This isn't working. I don't want to record content. Um, I'm not doing it with my hair not done. Uh, I don't even know what else you were saying. There was just a bunch of problems that you weren't afraid to kind of just say, and
Yeah.
then obviously from then we can work through it. But if you never said those things, you would have just quietly went along with all of these problems that you would have had that never would have been solved. And also, what you just said reminded me, it literally unlocked a memory when we was on the call and I was answering your questions because I've never been to Atlanta and I was just like, what's going on? You were just like, are you going to scam me? Like like AJ,
I
this is a
did.
large
I did.
amount.
I did.
Yeah, you were like, AJ, this is a large amount. Like, are you going to scam me here? Like, what? Like, what are you at? Is this real? Like, do you guys
I
scam
did.
over there in the
I
UK? And I
did.
was like, does scamming happen in Atlanta? You were like, yeah, this shit happens a
Yeah.
lot. And I was just like, I even know how to make you
I
believe
know
me.
you were
Like,
like, oh, you know, how did you? I did say that on our first call, and
yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah.
like, "Are you?" Yeah, I did because I was just like everything. Okay, so everything you said you were going to help me with made sense. I asked the questions, you answered
Hmm.
them. I'm like, oh yeah, right. He's gonna scam me. I said I'm not into that scamming stuff, and I asked you straight up, what did you
Yeah,
think about me? You probably think like this crazy girl. What?
I was just like, scam. I was kind of new to the whole thing. Like I've worked with clients like Nero and Black Bezos and Code Sweet, like a bunch of other people, but I- like I've never been asked that question, so I was just kind of like, how do I prove that I'm not a scammer? Like, wait, the people scamming this industry is that what they're doing here? Is that why people come online and they're saying I'm doing 100K months because they're scamming or what? Like, I'm just confused. Like that whole call took me back, but I can't even remember what I said to you. I was just kind of like, look, you can have like all the details about me. Like, I literally don't care. You can track me down. Like, here's my address. Here's everything. Like,
No,
the
you
last thing
did.
I
You
want to do
did.
is scam you.
But you got to remember too, because the people you work with have a platform, right? So I don't have a
Yeah,
platform. You know, I had a very successful business, but you know, in every business you got to get to a next level, growth, growth,
yeah,
growth.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I was already in business, already entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur. I quit my job in 2012. I used to work at the bank. So I've always been an entrepreneur since 2012. But what I'm learning as an entrepreneur, you got to grow, you got to change, you got to read information, you got to get coaches like you got to open
Mhm.
a book. You can't just, because there's a lot of people when I quit my job in 2012 was like, oh, she's going to be back. She's not going to make it, blah, 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 blah. And when I quit my job, it wasn't a thing to quit my job. I think during the pandemic and maybe a little bit before the pandemic, being an entrepreneur was like glorified. But
Mhm.
I've been doing this. So when you're doing this, you got to attach yourself to people like you to grow. So yeah, I have a successful venue, but I want to grow. I want to attract different more clientele. I want to rebrand myself.
Mhm.
So I was online looking for someone, and then everyone just seems scammy. And then there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of
Yeah.
fronting and, oh, I got this, I got that. I never talk about what I have because it's to me, it's like I don't want to say like, oh, I do this because you need to follow me. I just want to present my business. But you said, Maxine, you got to be yourself. So
Yeah.
y'all was afraid of being scammed. Yeah.
Rightly
But you
so.
ain't spending money. Like, what? Yeah. And
Yeah.
then it worked, and I always had my notes. I still have my
Yeah,
hold
you
up,
always took notes too.
edit this part out, but I still got my book of notes.
I literally remember you would take notes. You would even be like,
Still
hang
got
on,"
my
and then you
notes.
you'd literally be finished. You'll be writing down what I just said, and you'll be like, "Hang
Yeah.
on, let me just write this down," and
Yep.
then I'll wait, and then we'll carry on the combo. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
for
took
sure.
experience,
But yeah,
literally.
to grow in doing this as long as I've been doing it, you got to get coaches,
Yeah,
and even if you can't afford a coach, you can do like YouTube and stuff like that. But it's nothing like, I basically paid for access. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
it's good that
yeah.
I can see you and, oh, Audrey, ask your question, but I had you like you said, I would be ready, and I had like questions, questions, question, question, questions. And when you have that access to someone, you feel comfortable, and then you were genuine in what you did. And when you said, hey, if you're consistent, you gave me challenges that I hated.
Oh
You
yeah,
was
oh yeah. That was
you like,
cool.
be consistent for 30 days, be consistent. And when I did those things, it actually worked. I mean, if you want to go viral, that's honestly, it's easy to go viral because you just be consistent and talk about what you were going to say, but it's about retaining the customers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So out of maybe going viral with 100 views or 30,000 likes or people saying, oh, I want to buy your book, all I need is just one person to book, and then it just makes sense. All I need is one person to book a wedding or book a
Hmm.
birthday party or book a baby shower. Then it makes sense because I don't want to be popular. I want to be booked. And then I also want to share what I've learned with someone else who genuinely wants to learn. I don't want, I don't want to be in the business like taking your money and then you don't get anything out of it. That's not my thing. I want
Hmm.
you to make sure that what I'm imparting is like stuff I learned from you and other places and other people. And it's just like, paying it forward. So
Yeah,
I really believe, and I don't believe sometimes, getting things for free, you're not going to pay attention. You got to put a dollar amount on it.
definitely you won't.
Yeah. And it's your time too, right? Because what you taught is invaluable because I've made triple since then, quadruple. Like, so now it's like, oh, wow,
Way
like
more, and it's
it's
gonna
so worth it.
benefit you for literally forever.
Forever. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
But yeah, the let's let's wrap it up with this last question.
Okay.
What would you say to someone, or what would you say to, let's say, a previous version of yourself that was maybe scared to make the investment or unsure whether they're gonna, if they want to make the investment or whether they need it? Maybe they could just do it on their own and figure it out by themselves. What would you actually say to them?
I would say to my old version of myself, is what I did is, okay, so you've been doing whatever you've been doing for X amount of time and nothing is changing, you know? So when you're making an investment to someone else, you're really making the investment in yourself. So it's almost like you don't believe in yourself enough to make the investment for yourself. That's what it is. You don't believe in yourself enough, or you don't think you're worth it because when you are paying for a class or getting a coach or attending a seminar, you're proving to yourself that you're worth it. So you're saying that you're not worth it, you're not worth growing, not you're not worth in taking the risk on your own self, because that's what it really leads to. And so I was worth it, but I just didn't know where to go and who to trust and what direction. And of course, do your homework.
Yeah.
But I definitely believe, like, right now I'm looking for another opportunity, or, especially if you're in business, you always got to make opportunities to invest and grow. It's the name of the game. And if you're stuck and you're like, oh, I don't know, or this is not for me, or it's too expensive, then you're not ready to grow your business. Because how do you expect people? I don't know whatever type of business you are you in, you got to make sure you pay out, because you want people to pay you, but you don't want to pay out to someone else or to invest in yourself. So I just
Real.
feel like it's like, if you're hesitant, is that you don't believe in your business, you're not confident, or you just don't know what you're doing. And that was me all the time. Like, I know what I'm doing, but I wasn't confident. And I was just like, everything was, oh, that's too much money. That's too much money. But I mean, if you want to grow and make six figures or seven figures, the rule of thumb that I learned now is, like, you got to invest in yourself to attract that. It doesn't just happen out of thin air kind of deal. So my old version, and it took me a while, because it's been a while that I felt stuck in my business. It's like, I know I could
Mhm.
do more, I could be more visible, but I just didn't know how. And then sometimes, like I said, you can learn so much to a certain level, but you got to pay for that. You pay for the access. That's what I think. When you get a coach or mentor, you pay for the access. Because even though I'm not in the program anymore, not saying that I have a lifetime access, but I still could pick up my notes and be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, what did Ajane say about this? Or sometimes when I feel stuck, I can go back to our notes and say, okay, what can I recycle, or do something. But I'm probably gonna pay again, because I always get some brand deals. So what's up? I need to learn how to get brand deals. But
Talk
I
to me.
feel
Talk to
like
me.
you gotta know that if you want your business to grow, you gotta invest in yourself, and know that you're not investing in, per se, your program. You're after actually investing in yourself to be better, and the benefit is the program.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I've heard that. That was beautifully said, by the way. I'm definitely stealing. You said a bunch of bars. I'm stealing everything you said. So if you hear me say that on like a YouTube video or a short form
Yeah,
video, there's no I got it from you. But
yeah. But
I heard
I mean, I
someone say,
stole basically my whole game from you. So what's up? Like, it's not even a. I say it all the time. Like, I'll do your post and everything. Because, you have
yeah,
to really scroll down to my page and see. Because at the end of the day, you told me everybody does beautiful events. Like, what separates you? Because
hmm,
everyone, I mean, honestly, and I was like, he's hurting my feelings. But everyone does beautiful events. So what separates you? People need to get to know who is Maxine behind the business. And
yeah.
even now, I haven't even, like, unleashed the full of who I am. But compared to where I was before I met you, I have people saying to me, like, oh, girl, you online? And I'm like, yeah. You can't care
Hmm.
about those people, because those people still broke.
I'm sure I used to say to you, the people that will criticize you are never doing better anyway. So there's
Never,
nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. I also heard
nothing.
people say, I heard someone say this. I'm gonna take it as mine though. They were like, um, you don't technically sometimes you don't buy coaching because you want more information. You buy coaching to borrow the confidence off the coach into
Ooh,
whatever you're doing. And I was like,
that's
yeah,
good.
that right there, that is true.
That's fire. No, that's
Yeah.
fire, because I definitely, Um, and I say sometimes too, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what do you think? And you would always say,
Hmm.
Maxine, it's okay, just put it out there. And when I
Hmm.
learned, I have to just give you this. You taught me how to edit. Oh my gosh, like, your girl can edit a video. I mean, like, with the if I don't remember
Hmm.
anything, you taught your girl how to edit. So when I do things now, people are like, who did your video? I'm like, me. And
They're like, what? Do
yeah.
you know how to do that? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So even when I didn't want, and I remember I used to send you videos over and over, and you're like, "It's okay, post it," and
Hmm.
I was like, "No,
Hmm.
I don't want to post it."
You send like the same. I'm sure one time you sent the same video like 4 times
Yeah,
over WhatsApp, and I'll just watch it and be like, yeah, okay, do that. Change this. or I'll be like, it's fine, and then you still sent one again, and I was just like,
Yeah, because I'm
Maxine.
like, no, it's not fine. No, 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 no. So that's the main thing. Like I'm definitely confident in it. People think, you can still know what you're doing, but don't know how to do it. Right. So
Mhm.
I'm in
Yeah.
my team and I are experts in planning weddings and events. So we know what we're doing, but how to communicate that to the world. I mean, it's yeah, you good. I think you good. You good. You are definitely, because I'm just thinking back, like, oh my gosh, I'm like on screen. Like I pull up my phone and now I'm doing one-on-ones with people on live and stuff. And that was not the
Mhm.
thing. Like I
Mhm.
would
Mhm.
never do that because I was scared of what other people would think. And you said to
Mhm.
me, like, who's the most opinion that matters the most? And I said, my mom. And you're like, well, she's not here anymore. So what's up?
I didn't say exactly that, but it's effective.
Yeah.
It's basically what I said. It's basically what I said. I remember
You
you made a
answered
post
quick on you
about
like, oh,
it.
I didn't say
I
that.
was
No, no,
just
no.
like, you're making me sound like I disregarded your mom, but
No, no, you
nah,
didn't. You
it's
didn't.
true
You
though.
really talked me through it. And it's just
It's
like,
really
yeah,
true.
like other people's opinion are irrelevant. It's about what you think about yourself. And I definitely learned that from going through your program. Totally.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is amazing. And I pray that you have, like, you're overwhelmed. You have to get an assistant because what you're doing is amazing. Because I'm already, like, I am someone that, when I'm in my element, like my team always calls me, even my husband, boss lady, I'm in my element, like, so I'm always a professional, but it's amazing how I turned that and now can really be in that social world. So you did that, I gotta say. That program is bomb. It should be longer though. It should be forever. But yeah, that program's bomb.
I thought about it. I thought
I
about it.
miss
We'll
our
see.
calls. Like I miss, like, being
Yeah.
structured and me lying why I didn't do the content. I'm like, oh well, I didn't know.
Oh, I was really busy. Had things to
Busy,
do.
busy, but
You were probably
you
watching
always say,
Netflix.
make time for what you want to. Yeah, you gotta make the investment. As far as me, and I'm in my ninth year of owning my building, and 'cause we bought the building in 2017, and even the last 12 months of me really just pushing out the different content. My Facebook has grown. We were like 1,000 followers in the beginning of the year. Now we're approaching like 10,000 followers. But the main thing
Mhm.
about it is now monetizing on Facebook. Like that's insane. I didn't even know how to do that. But because of
Yeah.
consistent posting, and as I said, $200-300, I'll just use that and reinvest in something else.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. So not only on Instagram you taught me about the TikTok and the just social media. I'm on YouTube, not as much, but I am posting my shorts, like you said, and those are doing well too. So I'm just like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about.
I think it's time you get on a full YouTube videos. I
Yeah,
think that would be cool.
that's
I think that would
you
be
did tell
cool.
me that. So that'll let me write that down. I'm gonna get on that, like, definitely the next 30 days. Because I do like a lot of shorts, but I don't do like a long form. So
But
yes.
yeah, that's pretty much everything, Maxine. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for thinking of me, and thank you for not scamming me.
I
I'm
can't
surprised
believe
I'm
that
the first person that answered that question. Are you serious? You must not get a lot
Yeah,
of American clients.
I think to this day you're probably the only person that's said that to me. Like like maybe people have thought it, but you're the only one that's actually like said it to me.
But
So
guys, he's not a scammer. He's not a scammer. He's the real deal. He's gonna put you to work, but he's a real deal. So I appreciate it.